a trend alert. I'm actually really excited about this segment. The anti-diet, that's what we're talking about. The concept encouraging people to transform the way they eat in 2022. And the trendiest guy we know, that would be Dan Harris.
Debatable.
He's here. I think you missed us and you wanted to wake up really early on a Saturday morning just to hang out. But we are excited to talk to you about how you can revolutionize your relationship with food, Dan.
Good morning, guys. I do miss you. And Eva, welcome back. Your baby is adorable. I can't wait to meet the baby.
It will hopefully happen soon when it's not so cold to be outside, right? Let's talk about food because that's one of the things we all do together is eat.
Yes, that's true.
So many people set out to diet at the start of a new year, but you say that anti-dieting is the way to go. Why is that?
Yeah, look, the studies seem to show that dieting, which many of us do in one form or another, doesn't actually work, that you're likely to gain the weight back. So this anti-diet, which is actually called intuitive eating, flips all of that on its head and says instead of eating in a way that you're trying to live up to external standards, how about listening to what your body actually needs? The scientific term for this is interoceptive awareness, or just you could call it self-awareness or mindfulness, tuning into whether you're hungry and when you're full instead of going by external standards. And this, some studies indicate, seems to be a more effective way to relate to food and your body.
The big guy with the big words, Dan.
He always had the big words.
He always did.
Missed those.
And Dan, I know that you actually had a whole episode on your podcast, 10% Happier, got to give you the promo, talking about this concept. You've got 4 tips for adopting an anti-dieting outlook. What's the first one?
So the first one is honoring your hunger. This is really the principal notion of intuitive eating, or this anti-diet, which is paying attention to whether you're hungry or not. Dieting often puts us into this mode of we're unable to listen to our body because we're overriding we're so focused on what the external sources tell us that we're not listening to what our body's actually telling us. And we can go into this kind of deprivation mode where certain foods become the forbidden fruit, and then we overeat. And so what you want to do is learn how to honor your hunger, and meditation, of course, is very helpful in this. It's not an overnight, flip of the switch. When I started getting interested in intuitive eating many years ago, it took a while for me to develop the skill of being able to listen to what my body was actually saying, as opposed to just sort of eating until I felt vaguely sick. But this is a skill you can develop.
So many of our viewers know that your food journey has played out right here on GMA Weekend. One of my favorite moments of all time working with you, and we're going to roll this clip as we go. I'm sure you remember. Remember when you gave up sugar for a period of time, and then you literally fell off the wagon? There you are, taking a bite. What was that, a cupcake or a donut?
How shocked we are.
Right in front of us. But now you say that it's time to end that war, that tension with food. Tell us about that as we continue to enjoy this clip.
Yeah, that was a delicious donut cooked by my friend Wiley Dufresne. And yes, I spent a lot of time. Look, I think this is a thing a lot of men don't talk about, but almost every man I know, especially the guys who are on TV and have to look at our faces all the time, spend, I think, an embarrassing amount of time obsessing about like what we should eat and what we can't eat. How do we look in the mirror, et cetera, et cetera. And eating disorders are really on the rise, and that includes men too. And I don't think I had an eating disorder per se, but given the pressure of being on television, just the pressure of living in this culture where everybody's looking at us all the time on social media, even if we're not on television, I did find that my mind was chewed up. So much of my bandwidth was chewed up with this boring inner conversation about what I should or shouldn't eat. And so I took sugar off the table for a while, because every time I ate one Oreo, it turned into a sleeve of Oreos. But once I encountered intuitive eating, I decided, hey, maybe I can do this and eat it in a way that I don't go into starvation or deprivation mode and have a more balanced relationship with sugar.
Well, and that often leads to some sort of shame. How does our emotions play into all of this with eating?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a huge part of it. Psychologists talk about this acronym HALT, H-A-L-T. Hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. When we're in one of these states that we don't want to look at, sometimes we paper over it with comfort eating. And there are other more effective ways to handle your emotions, like calling a friend, meditating, taking a walk. And I'm not saying you should never have a bowl of ice cream at the end of a tough day, but if you're really trying to avoid something deeper, maybe there are healthier ways to work with your emotions rather than just blindly turning to food.
And Dan, everything you're describing, it sounds like just sort of taking a more gentle approach and being more gentle with yourself about all of it. Talk to us about gentle nutrition.
Yeah, a lot of people hear this idea, and I certainly, when I heard this idea of intuitive eating, I was like, wait a minute, but what about actual nutrition? We know what is good for your body and what isn't good for your body. And the folks behind intuitive eating say, yes, that is true, but let's emphasize nutrition later after we learn how to listen to our bodies, and let's do it in a gentle way, which means that, yeah, maybe cookies aren't the best thing for your body, but having a healthy relationship where you can have some cookies once in a while, that should be okay. So nutrition is important, but apply it gently.
Well, you are one smart cookie.
We miss you, Dan.
So much.
We really do. It's so great to see you.
And it's nice that we can still have you as our guru sometimes.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you guys can also learn to build a better relationship with food. You heard Janae mention this, the free anti-diet course on the 10% Happier app. Download it now wherever apps are found, and you can join today.
Always great to see Dan.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.